What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I did this pink and yellow springtime makeup look. This was a lot of fun to create. So if you want to see how I got this look, then just go ahead and keep watching. Alrighty, so let's just go ahead and ignore that little guy right there. Anyway, moving on to Vaseline. This is the Rosy Lip ones. I'm just going to use that to moisturize my lips. Next, taking my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in the shade Light, I'm going to go ahead and use that to prep the eyelids for eyeshadow. And then I'm just using my finger to buff that up. Next, taking my Morphe E28, looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and dip into my Jaclyn Hill X Morphe palette, and I'm going to take these two shades, which are Silk Cream and MFEO, and I'm just going to go ahead and blend that into my crease using windshield wiper motions and circular motions combined, and I'm just going to build up that transition shade to where I want it to be. Next, I'm going to take my Morphe 35B palette. And I'm going to dip into that light pink shade right there. I know it's kind of light, but that's okay. I'm just going to use that to build up and prepare for the darker shades of pink that I'm going to be using. So again, I know it's a little light, but in person you can see it a little bit better. The camera doesn't really do it justice, but I'm just building that up for our next shade. So now I'm going to go into that pinky corally shade with the same brush, and I'm going to go ahead and add that on top of the colors that we already have going on there. And I'm going to try to focus that on mainly on the outer and inner corner, since I'm going to be doing a halo eye. I want most of that product and the pigment to be on the outer and inner corner, and then just blend up into the crease. And next, with this Wet n Wild blending brush, I'm just going to go ahead and buff out the colors we have, just so there's no harsh lines and it has no added product. Next, with this Cleof flat eyeshadow brush, I'm going to dip into this bright pink shade. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on the inner corner, just packing that on. And the outer corner, again, just packing that shade on the outer corner. And then just taking it up into the crease a little bit just to connect the shades together. Next, taking that same Morphe brush we were using earlier, the E28, and just buffing out those edges. Taking this Morphe RG18, looks like this. It's a smaller blending brush. I'm going to dip back into that pink corally shade and that hot pink shade. And I'm going to blend that into the crease, just because I wanted that pink to go a little bit higher than what it was. So just blending those two shades in my crease, and taking the Wet n Wild brush with no added product just to further buff it out. Next, with this Wet n Wild flat brush, I'm going to take my concealer and go ahead and carve out where I want the yellow shade to be. Taking that same brush, I'm going to dip into the yellow from the Morphe 35B, and I'm going to apply that where we have the concealer, but I wasn't really feeling the way the color was coming out, so I'm going to take my MAC Fix Plus, this is a rose scented one, and I'm going to spritz my brush and then dip into that yellow shade again, and as you can see it's a lot more pigmented, so I was definitely feeling it now. And because I want to be extra, I'm going to dip into that shimmery yellow. And I used my finger at first just to get a feel for what it's going to look like. Yep, we're going to do it. So I go ahead and take that same Wet n Wild brush, and I'm just packing on that shimmery yellow on top of the yellow. Then taking that same pink corally shade and that hot pink shade just to buff out the edges so we don't have any harsh lines between the pink and the yellow. And next, taking my Rimmel Stay Matte Primer, and go ahead and prime the face. So just spreading that all over the face and focusing the majority of it to my T-zone because that's where I get the most oily. Next, with this Clear foundation brush, I'm just going to take my Maybelline Superstay in 310. And I just went ahead and pumped it onto the brush, and then from the brush I applied it onto my face. And I really like the way my foundation came out today with the way I applied it. And just getting around the crevices of the nose. And I'm going to take my Morphe RG6, it's just a flat top brush, and I'm going to go ahead and buff out the foundation. I wasn't too big on using this with my Maybelline Fit Me, but I'm really liking it with this foundation, probably because it's a little thicker consistency. This brush worked really well with this foundation. And you want to make sure to blend that up into your hairline so there's no gaps. I got a little bit in my hair, but I do wipe it off at the end, so no worries. Really digging these two together. Next, taking the Maybelline Age Rewind in the shade Light, I'm just going to go ahead and conceal. So I'm going to conceal under the eyes, and down the center of the nose, center of my forehead, Cupid's bow, and my chin. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and buff that out with my RG6. Next, taking my Wet n Wild contouring palette and my Royal and Langnickel multi-purpose powder brush, I'm going to dip into the banana shade right here, and I'm going to use that to set our concealer. And I like this powder a lot because you can tell it just like really brightens up your under eye, which I need. Putting that a little on my chin. And on the forehead as well. Then taking my Wet n Wild pressed powder in Warm Light and my e.l.f. complexion brush, I'm going to go ahead and put that on the rest of my face to set my foundation. Using my Morphe RG8, it looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and dip into that same contouring palette, and I'm going to take that bronze shade. And I'm going to go ahead and contour the face, so contouring the cheeks. Contouring right there on the temples and the forehead, blending it up into the hairline. And under the chin. Taking my Wet n Wild contour brush, I'm going to go ahead and contour the nose a little bit as well. Then going back into my Morphe 35B with that clear flat brush that we use with the pink shades, dipping into those same pink and corally pink. I'm going to go ahead and buff that onto the outer third of my lower lash line and the inner third of my lower lash line. And using the same Wet n Wild brush with those yellow shades to fill in the middle. So basically we're just mirroring the same thing we have on our lid to our lower lash line. Right here I'm just using the clear brush to accentuate the cat eye effect that I want with the eyeshadow. Since it's pretty pointy, it was easy to get that effect. Next, with this glitter liner from Jewelry Box, it's in the shade Gold. I'm just going to go ahead and make a line at my crease where the yellow shade is. You want to make sure that dries so you don't get it everywhere on your lid. Next, we're going to prep for falsies. I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise and the L'Oreal Telescopic in Carbon Black. You already know. And that glitter liner was really good, and it was only $1, so I'll leave that link in the description down below if you want to check it out. So I'm just using the telescopic one first for the volume. No, not for the volume, for the length. Get it together. And coating the lower lashes while I'm at it. Next, using the Voluminous one for volume, obviously. And again, I'm going to coat those lower lashes while I'm at it. Taking these Kiss lashes in the number 11 and my Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive. I'm going to set those off to the side, let them get tacky. Using my Maybelline Lasting Drama in the shade, checking, Striking Copper is the shade. And go ahead and line my waterline with that. You ever have an itch? I was using the brush. There's the lashes, that up. Taking my Maybelline Eyestudio in Blackest Black. I'm going to go ahead and tightline my upper waterline so that way the falsies blend in with my natural lashes a lot better. There we go. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I surely can. Taking my Maybelline Brow Drama, we're going to set those brows so that those brow hairs stay in place. Thinking. I'm going to go in with my NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream. This is in the shade Prague. I have only used it once. I'm not too sure how I feel about this bright pink on my complexion, but with this look, I was really feeling it and I was vibing with it, so we went with it. This formula is really soft on the lips. Not too bad. I like it. And lastly, taking my MAC Fix Plus just to set everything in place. Alright guys, that completes this look. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this spring makeup tutorial, and it'll probably be the first of quite a few. So if you like this look, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, hit that subscribe button, which is somewhere down here. Hit the notification bell, that way whenever I upload, you'll be notified. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say except thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.